Thanks for joining Scene Squad. I'm your host, political and cultural critic Sharron with two R's, and I'm joined today by my mentor, Miss Kenniss, social justice activist, and you're listening to Seen and Heard podcast.
Peace.
Thanks for joining Seen and Heard podcast, where everyone should be seen and heard. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, share, and like. If you would like to support us and our content, click the links below in the description box, and we will be greatly appreciative. So I want to start off with these. I like your earrings. You got to tell us about your earrings. Anybody like cherry blossoms?
Yeah.
So the links will be in below in the description box if you like these. They have other frames like regular frames. I just happen to like the cherry blossoms, and we'll have a 10% off discount code. Tragedy Ann. That's TRGDYANN_7. You get 10% off. So let's start off with a happy AAPI month. Since SPeteH Führer wants to take off everybody's holiday, the ethnic holidays, off of the calendar. I even give a shout out to the Buddhist holidays. Like literally, they're all gone off of Google. But shout out to the Asian community, AAPI month. I'd like to give a special shout out to Mika and Miwa. Thank you for your support. And a shout out to Suru for Solidarity, who are a nonviolent direct action community of Japanese American social justice advocates. And we, Ms. Kenniss and I, we will be meeting in Washington in a week or two. Yay! I'll get to see Miss Kenniss in the flesh and give her a big hug. You excited? I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, she's always busy traveling and doing the social justice work, but I'm excited to see everybody, and I'm really looking forward to that.
See, it's your
So
first time in DC. It is not my
yes,
first
it's
time
my
in
first time.
DC.
Yeah,
I've
my
been in
first
DC for
time.
years.
So I'm just really looking forward to that. Miss Kenniss taking me all to her secret little hideaways.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, so let's start off with this clip, and I'm going to play this first, and then I want to get your reaction on the other side.
Mr. President, thank you for your time. It's interesting that you brought up Harvard, because when people think about Harvard, what they're basically talking about is they're asking, what do you say to those who view your actions as an attack on academic freedom rather than a defense of fairness? What do you say to that?
Well, I say this: we had riots in Harlem, in Harlem, and frankly, if you look at what's gone on, and people from Harlem went up and they protested, Stephen, and they protested very strongly against Harvard. They happened to be on my side. You know, I got a very high black vote. You know that. Very high black vote. It was a very great compliment to me. I did criminal justice reform. I did opportunity zones for one of the greatest economic deals ever for the black and Hispanic community. I got tremendous. They agree with what I'm doing with respect to Harvard. Harvard gets 4 or 5.
He didn't even answer the question. He went all the way off the rails.
He was very disrespectful, and I think I would like to see the rest of it, because I'm going to be very disappointed in Stephen Smith if he does not bring him back in focus and insist that he answers the question. And furthermore, that he takes it to the next level and asks DJ 47 about what he has just done, as far as not just the tax exempt status, but the fact that he has removed any opportunities for people of African descent, specifically, to have any participation in any activities on the campus. He's taken away their, they have the frat houses and those houses that they live in, and I guess it's been tradition that coming up to graduation, they have some African American, some black party or something. All of that is gone. Now, the question that we are dodging is, upon whose backs was Harvard built? Not the fact that Donald Trump is talking about the high marks, which is a lie. He does not have high marks from blacks. Yes, some blacks did vote for him, but that is not high marks because 92% of Soul Sisters voted for Madam Vice President. So he does not have high marks. But he does these things, and we want to either forget our history or act as if it does not exist. Somebody needs to call him out for the fact that whatever we get as black people from Harvard is not even good reparations. So Harvard and Harvard's board and whomever all else, they still owe us reparations for all that was endured when our ancestors had to go and upon their backs build an opportunity for academics that their children and their descendants could not even partake in or enjoy.
And speaking of, President Obama attended Columbia University, so I personally think that a lot of his attacks, although and somebody else has got to be in his ear because I don't think he's that smart to be doing all this, but President Obama attended Columbia, Trump's attack at Columbia, and Harvard. He graduated from Columbia in '83 with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, and then enrolled at Harvard in '88, graduating in '99 with a JD magna cum laude, and he was the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. So that has a lot to do with, his attacks as well. Also, his son Barron applied to Columbia and Harvard and didn't get in, so that's kind of added salt in the wound there.
Hey, where did the oldest daughter go to college? I don't remember. I know the
Did she
youngest,
go? Was it Tiffany?
Tiffany, who? No, I'm talking about
Oh,
Obama. Yeah.
you said, oh, you mean
Tiffany went to
Obama's daughter? You
Tiffany
said,
went to Georgetown, I think.
okay, you're like Tiffany who's kind of like what he does. Okay, so that was the Malala, uh, okay, Malia
Yeah, Malia.
Obama. Okay, she went to Harvard.
Right. So that
Mm-hmm.
also may well be part of it. Some little black girl got into Harvard, and his precious uh trying to be nice here. Euro-American son couldn't get into either one of those universities. Again, we got to face the facts. If we want to be honest about it, not everybody's is built to go to Harvard. Not
Mm-hmm.
everybody's built to go to Columbia. And there may be those folk who have light cases of autism who may or may not be able to get into either one of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that just initially drives him, for people that
Sure.
are still acting obtuse and confused on the fact that why is he doing all this? Why is he? Well, I just threw that out. I just wanted to add that could be another possible reason because we know that he has been so mad at President Obama since that White House correspondence dinner. Do you honestly think we would be going through what we're going through if President Obama did make that joke about him at that dinner?
That sealed the deal, but yes, we would still be going through it because he is, for those people who do not believe it, he is a racist redneck, and he has always been a racist redneck. So he would have still been in opposition to Barack Obama. But the fact that Barack Obama stood up there and made him look like a butthole, um, he acted like a little kid, you
He
know.
was fuming. He was fuming. I don't have that
Furious.
clip, but
He was furious.
I'll his face. I remember seeing his
He
face.
was
He
absolutely
was so
furious.
mad. But I never thought that he would unleash his reign of terror, just being that petty for some. But I mean, racism, the hatred for black people, I guess, just runs deep in his bones. Because of that. I mean, just kind of remember what he did to Central Park 5. To this day, he has
Hmm.
not apologized to them.
He never will. I mean, we're waiting for him to apologize. He will die and go to hell and never apologize.
And speaking of other attacks, let me flip this around here. So today, Trump has signed an executive order to end the federal funding for NPR and PBS. They say he can't, let's see, what is it? Neither entity presents a fair, accurate, or unbiased portrayal of current events to tax paying citizens, the order says. Like, that is ridiculous. And then considering he, speaking of unbiased coverage, they did a 30-minute interview with Steve Bannon on his podcast a few nights ago, and then as well they had Chris Rufo on last night. So I mean, I've been listening to NPR since I was a kid, and then 2015 I noticed the shift in their tone and how they covered Trump, and then it progressively got more supportive. Their tone and their coverage got more supportive, and even just a few days ago, my son had it on, and they were trying to normalize the terrorists and trying to normalize people suffering for this tariff war. Like what he said, I'm paraphrasing about the baby dolls. He's like, well, little girls won't get $30. They'll just get one or two, and it'll be higher. So he basically, told the truth that the tariffs are going to cause everybody economic grief. And I think it's economic terrorism.
Well,
But it doesn't pay to kiss the ring because
again, 55% of Latino men voted for Donald Trump in November of 2024. Again, 44% of all Latinos voted for Donald Trump in 2024. Again, 52% of all Euro-American women voted for Donald Trump in 2024. And I have to wonder if I am seen by this group, Euro Americans, as not being intelligent, as not being smart, as not being able to process information, not like they are able to do it because they are superior, then this country is bound for doom, because now that they see exactly who he is, he's unstoppable, just about. And those people, 55%, 44%, and 52% cannot stop him. They cannot stop him. There's nothing they can do to stop him. So he's gonna and my challenge is every night I go to bed, I wake up, if I'm in bed, I wake up at 4 o'clock to see what the news is that he has done something crazy. If I'm up because I'm like this unpaid volunteer. But if I wake up, if I'm up, I look to see what he's doing, and he has done something more than once every day. He just hit his 100th day, but he's already done over 139 executive orders. I mean, when does he sleep?
And this is on their website, ending taxpayer subsidization of biased media, what he calls biased media, but this is on the White House website here.
So which one is more biased, NPR and PBS or Fox?
Well, that's his roost there, Fox, but it says here, section 1, purpose: National Public Radio, Public Broadcasting, PBS and NPR, receive taxpayer funds through corporation or public broadcasting. Unlike in 1967 when the CPB was established, today the media landscape is filled with abundant, diverse. Okay, I have to stop there, but I'll have the link to this so y'all can read it for yourself. But this is presidential actions.
So I gotta jump in. What is it that he is tearing down? What does D and DEI stand for?
Oh, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Isn't his executive order? How dare him use diverse in any form or format to speak on anything that he's doing? It is an off limits word to him. He cannot use it. How dare him use it in any way? And he's not smart enough to write like that anyway. He's paying people to write all that stuff.
And somebody's in his ear. Well, several persons are in his ear because he's not smart enough to pull all this off. But speaking of his sycophants, General Langley is trying to go to Burkina Faso, and he's been attacking President Traoré. So I want to play this video and then talk on the other side.
The other two competitors are just trying to replicate what we do best.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traoré and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across. Even in Sudan, what's going on with the rapid support forces and Burhan of the Sudan forces, when you get down to it, is all about the revenue that can be drawn out of that. And there are nefarious actors in the CCP or in sometimes Russia are complicit in those activities.
Living a dream, living the African dream.
Are you planning to travel, relocate, or invest in Africa? Before making permanent decisions?
So, message to Africa: not all Black Americans over here claim him because he is a tool of the state. So, what are your thoughts, Ms. Kenniss?
So first of all, I lift up Ibrahim Traoré, and I give him the highest regards for what he has done in Burkina Faso and what his vision is that he will continue to do. We should be so lucky as to have someone like him leading this country. And when we talk about resources and minerals, etc., I don't know how true it is. It seems to be true. This country is chomping at the bit to get to the DRC's $20 trillion worth of minerals and resources. So how can you on one hand talk about who's trying to get to Burkina Faso's resources or gold supply, whatever the case may be, and then on the other hand, roll on over to the DRC and take their offer of, here, come get it, all $20 trillion of my resources. And Somalia is saying, yeah, well, we want a piece of that action too. So we want you to come over here, and we're going to give you access to our ports and et cetera, et cetera. But if we want to be real honest, and this is a problem with us, we forget our history. The Berlin Conference. What was the Berlin Conference for? They got together, and they divided the continent up. And the ones who got those areas where the diamonds were, I ain't calling no names because I don't want to be accused of being anything. But the ones who got the areas where the diamonds were, they took those diamonds out. They took them to places, i.e., like New York City, and established what's now called Diamond Row. They robbed our people on the continent. And now you're going to have the unmitigated gall and audacity to talk about who's doing what and who's corrupt and who's not corrupt. Well, then let's have that conversation.
And that's his land. Those are his resources, his and his people's resources. And from what I've seen, he is giving them free education. He's building homes for them. No government is perfect, but from what I'm seeing, I mean, the hospitals and the education though, free education.
He's got electric cars. Old boy ain't the only one doing electric cars. They over there saying we can do the same thing. We are building electric cars here. And he said, hey, you know what? Y'all got some prisoners and you don't know what to do with them? Call me. I'll take them and I will convert them into agrarians. I will teach them how to do agriculture, and we will be able to feed even more people than we're already feeding. So as far as I am concerned, I don't see anything he's doing wrong. And last thing I gotta say, I pray that my Black Jesus, my ancestors and the elders will cover him and protect him so that he continues to do the good work that he has been doing. Let's don't get into a situation that we got into with
Afghanistan.
Thomas Sankara, where Thomas Sankora's best friend sold him out and assassinated him so he could become the leader of Burkina Faso because they promised him some trinkets and some beads.
And I'm sending Meta from Buddha all the way, covering him, Nama Budaya, to President Ibrahim Traoré and his people. Because what that general is doing is lying, obviously. And he's trying to set the story of, oh, well, he's taking his own resources and using it for his own benefit. His benefit and his people's benefit. That's what he's doing. He's not telling the full story because he wants to try to make him out to be one of the, like what they did to Gaddafi,
Thomas Sankara. But the other piece of it is, I think it's Thomas Sankara. Yeah. The other piece of it is this country thinks it can rope-a-dope people and then bring their Western allies back into the country. So if they rope-a-dope Burkina Faso, the Sahel region, basically, then France can come back in because France hurt right now financially.
They're mad. They're big mad.
Well, they're mad, but they're hurting because they're no longer getting those mandatory financial inputs from those countries that said, you got to go, get out and don't even look back. So our country, this country, I'm sure behind closed doors, they have come up with a way to get in, to have an inroad in there, and then they can say, "Hey, friends, come on, you back in,
Mhm.
you back in." No, no, don't. As far as I'm concerned, to the people of Burkina Faso, you all stand strong. Because there's a
Yes.
whole lot of people. I tried to get to Burkina Faso, and I couldn't get there because the people who were trying to plan the trip were a little bit too unorganized. But I haven't given up. I still got hope. So to the people of Burkina Faso, there are a lot of us who stand with you. And as a matter of fact, I want to give special acknowledgement to my brothers and sisters in New York City, the D12 movement, because on April 30th, they went out and said, "Hands off of Burkina Faso."
Thank you for letting us know that, because I wasn't aware of that. But so we're going to close out now, for now. And I'm, again, am so excited. I'm going to get to see, and I'm going to film it and take pictures. Of course, everybody's going to see me when I go meet Miss Kenniss. I'm going to jump up in your arms. You gotta carry me. I'm teasing. I'm excited. I'm so excited. And please don't forget to thumbs up the video, leave us a voicemail. Let us know what you think about this program, if you like it. And I wanted to, well, I don't have it queued up, but we'll have it for the next one. But until the next show, then leave us questions and comments and just let us know what you want us to talk about or what you think of what we have already talked about. Thank you. Thank you.
Peace. Peace.